Welcome. Today I will model an office ceiling grid with Ies Lights. The grid measures about 1 inch at the bottom of the rail, and the panels are getting there, and they clear about 1/16 of an inch. As you can see here, this is an example of what they look like. The tiles, two different types of tiles like this one. We're going to model this simple one. And in the grid, and we're going to add also a fixture like this one. So start by creating a 12 by 12 by 9 feet high room with a window opening. The window is so we can add a sun with an environment map. The environment map is just the blue sky of daylight. Let's just answer yes here. We need to add a physical camera to adjust the render light. Now this is only a 12 by 12 room. Sometimes a picture or a render taken with a camera in this small space is not easy. As you can see, it's just too small to view the room. So we can take the camera outside the room. To render from outside, open the miscellaneous tab and enable the clipping planes here. Adjust the near value, maybe 20 feet for now. Now you can move the camera outside, and you can see that red panel or red grid is the near clipping plane. We just need to adjust the camera a little bit so we can see the room exactly how we want to. Adjust the position and the focal length. Also, a few adjustments to the camera for just to get started. Change the shutter to seconds at 100 of a second. Turn on the exposure gain to manual and type 100 here. And I would start with an aperture of 16 and render just to see what happens now. So it's a little bit dark, but that's a good start. I'm going to move the sun a little higher in the daylight for more light. Change the f-stop to 8, and this is something like this is what you would get when you render. All right, that's good. In the rendering tab, open environment, and you will see here that the sky is being checked as using the map. Uncheck this and render a portion of your image just to see the difference. You see that is the color that the sun gives. I'll turn it off again. I'll turn it on again. And instead, I'm going to turn off the sunlight and render again. So this is only with the skylight. You may even want to try to render an evening light. So this is just to understand better what the light is going to do to your room. Now, AcuityBrands.com has the light I need. Under products, select indoor, then Trophers. Here, choose VLT type. These are the ones we're going to be drawing. And here's the information on the specification sheet. If you look at it, it will tell you everything about the Tropher light, the dimensions, and how it mounts on the ceiling grid as well. Back here, you can decide to download the light you want from the photometry. The Ies lights for each light here are given in these numbers. For example, 20L means 20 lumens. Try to get something like 48 lumens and download the file. The file may come compressed, so unzip it and you will have the Ies file. Under resources, Customer Tools, find the Visual Lighting software. Here, you can use this interior tool. It will help you specify the size of the room, the height of the ceiling, the type of panels you're going to be using, and even the light you're going to use. If you downloaded the light, you can select it and place it. Once you do this, the program automatically will calculate how many lights you need in that area based on your parameters and criteria. For example, this needs 20 lights at 20 lumens power. All right, it's time to model the ceiling now. On the top view, start with a 12 by 12 feet plane. Add 6 by 6 segments so that each square is 24 by 24 inches. Convert it to an editable poly. Select all the polygons and apply inset. Select it by polygon. Make it 1/2 inch and set the ID number to 1. Press Ctrl-I to select the rest of the image and then make sure the ID is 2. Extrude the polygons by 0.25 of an inch, or maybe a little bit smaller if you want. Expand this section with Grow. Make sure the ID number still shows 2. So it's easier now to apply the materials. Using multi-sub-material, connect the materials by ID number. And don't forget the image for the file. Apply the materials. Add a UVW map with face type, and this will apply a map to each tile. The grid is upside down. Remember, we started on the top view, so we need to flip it. Just flip it on the y-axis. And now you can move your ceiling into your room or at the height you need. Next thing is we're going to model the Tropher. Start by making a plane on the front view, basically 24 inches wide by say 8 inches high. I'm going to bring a material with the image of the drawing of the Tropher. Here, if you click here, you can see these two numbers gives you the proportions. So using a little bit of math, maybe we can make the height right. So basically it's something like this, 6 inches, 0.2 for the height. Now, I always like to use some kind of helpers. In this case, I'm going to use a line with an arc to see if it fits, and it does very well. I'm going to make an arc for the other curve here. And now I can trace with the line. Start outside just a little line here first before you hit start, and then press Ctrl-S to turn on the snaps and trace the curves. You can press Ctrl-S to get out of snaps again and go back again, same manner. On something like this, I rather stop at the center and make a mirror image to complete the other side so that it's perfectly parallel. We can attach the two pieces together and weld these two. You can see here that it's not welded. Select both and click on weld, and if you see the green handles, that means you have it. All right, let me remove everything else, and we're going to extrude this line to about 24 inches or 2 feet, and that's the basis for the Tropher. Now we need to extend the edges so we can have the panels on both sides. You select these ends and then shift, pull up, and it just has to be a little bit higher to cover the top of the whole piece. Then select these two edges here and then bridge them. And that's pretty much it. You can make minor adjustments, such as the edge of this side. You can bend it up a little. You know how like metal works are done. And there you have it. Remove the polygons for the placement of the fixtures you're going to use on your ceiling. I already removed these two and I placed the Trophers in there. The Trophers need to be perfectly centered inside each square. If it's a little larger, you can also reduce them. Now let's add some Ies lights. I'm using V-ray lights. Click near the fixture and make sure you pull it straight down. And on none here, select your the light you downloaded. And now just make sure the light is very close to the fixture, but not touching it. Make a copy of your lights as instances and place them in the spaces you need. Now, you can make a few adjustments to your camera just before you render, but we can see what it will look like. I'm going to add some props to the office, like a desk and a couple of chairs. Now, if you want to see the fixture in your image, then apply a material like white, and then on self-illumination, brighten it up by going towards white. You can even use the multiply value to make it brighter if you have to. On the object properties of the Tropher, uncheck receive and cast shadows. If the lights were not on, then you could leave them checked, but since there's going to be light around it, you don't want that to be affected here. So you can adjust the brightness of each light. For every shot you make, you have to adjust your camera. Here are some examples. And thanks for watching.